We're talking Scranton Prep girls basketball. Bob Beviglia with the head coach, and another good year, another good start, but great competition. And it's always good to have that competition so you're prepared for later in the season. Let's talk about how the season's gone so far for you.
We loaded up our non-league schedule by design. We played Upper Dublin, really good. 6A school ranked in the top 5 in the state. We played at She Got Game in New Jersey, played a couple of games there. Played Red Bank Catholic, who is one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the state of New Jersey. And we played Immaculate Heart Academy, who's the state champ from New Jersey last year. So, we wanted to test ourselves and kind of see what we needed to work on, and it was a good way for me to kind of learn about where we're at and what we needed to get better at. We lost some of those games, but as I said to the girls, nobody cares who wins games in December. We're trying to build towards winning a league championship, winning a district championship, and hopefully getting to the top of the mountain when it's all over. And games like that will help us in that regard.
You see some of your previous players do great things, and some of them are doing incredible things. It's got to be a great feeling just to kind of watch some of those girls and what they're doing right now at that next level.
Yeah, I mean, John, if I can't sit here and tell you that I expected them to do what they're doing. I mean, I knew they were great players. I knew they were Division I kids. What people could measure, unfortunately for the 2 of them, Rachel and Cecilia, they were being recruited during COVID, and college coaches did not get a chance to see them play live. They only saw them on film. And you don't get Rachel Rose on film. You have to see it to believe it. So when you watch her on film, you see a 5'6" guard, not exceptionally fast, all of those other things. But now you see the player of the year in the Southern Conference at Wofford. You see Cecilia Collins, who is, conceivably an all-Ivy kid now at Columbia. But they're part of the legacy of the program, and I'm thrilled for that. And certainly the girls I have now look up to those kids.
Yeah, that's the next question of talk about these girls and, getting energized and seeing what these girls can do and say, hey, maybe it's not Columbia or Wofford. It might be some other school, but something that, hey, that's what they want to do. They want to go play at that next level. It's inspiring to see.
Yeah, I think that's what I've wanted our program to be. We're a private school, so I can't count on, if you're in a public school, you know what you're going to get to a certain degree from year to year. I wanted kids to understand that prep girls basketball was a destination, that it was someplace for them to go if they wanted to further their careers beyond high school. And so I think we've done that. Girls want to play for successful programs. They want to play in big games. They want to play in front of big crowds. And I think we've put ourselves in a situation where when kids come to prep, they understand that that's part of the deal.
People may not see all the behind-the-scenes stuff, but every time I see you, you're always positive. You're always like, hey, we're going to have a good year. But, there's a lot to that to keep that going. There's an element of pressure you put on yourself.
Yeah.
And probably in general, there's an element at prep that there's some pressure there. Talk a little bit about just trying to get the best out of everybody every year.
Yeah, I think our girls appreciate having the target on their back. It comes, I say to them all the time that they're fortunate to play in a program where every game is a meaningful game. And, we kind of accept that pressure and embrace it. If we were no good, there would be no pressure. So I think with talent and with expectations comes pressure, and I certainly feel it. But I think that we've managed expectations to such a degree that when the girls go on the floor, they can just play. And so I try not to put more pressure on them than already exists. But they understand that playing for prep's a little bit different, and I'm happy for that.
Let's talk about you get players. It's hard to get 6'2", 6'3", 6'1s all the time on your squad. So you got to develop those guards and make sure you're playing quick or you're hitting the outside shots. Talk a little bit about what you're able to do with the squad.
Yeah, we have not had size at all, and so I've kind of learned to coach without size. we probably have only had one truly back to the basket kid in the time that I've been at prep. Now I think we have a few coming, but the group that I have now, they're all 5'7", 5'8", and I enjoy coaching that type of basketball where we can switch 1 through 5 on defense and we try to play up tempo and get after people pressure wise. But you're right in that it certainly makes the margin of error a lot smaller when you don't have size.
And you got to play defense.
Exactly.
And that's been a theme. So talk a little bit about making sure that's number one.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to play defense. Sure, we're going to knock down shots, but we might have a 40-39 game, but we could have a 67-65 game too.
They understand, a lot of them come in and they're already talented offensive players, including this group when they walk through the door. But they learn from the older girls that the only way that they get on the floor is if I trust them on the defensive end. If they go out there and they're in the wrong position, if they're not boxing out, if they're not pressuring the ball, if they're not helping, they're not going to stay on the floor very long, regardless of how talented they are offensively. And I think the faster they learn that, and again, it comes from the older girls who have been around, the faster they learn that, the quicker they get on the floor and they can showcase some of the offensive talent they have.
I don't question. How about evolving as a coach? There's that element of, I don't want to say nuttiness, craziness, but you could get, coaches could get a little bit out of control in their career, and it's a fine line of trying to control yourself, but still take that to another level. And then intensity, it's a controlled intensity.
I'll say, and you'll appreciate this because I know you know them. I coached boys for a long time, and then as you know, I became a school administrator, so I did not coach. I had the good fortune of working at Bishop O'Reilly while Mark Belinsky was coaching there, coaching the boys, and I would watch him, and I would always marvel at the fact that he did not let anything get in the way of coaching his team. And I in watching him, and I've said this to him, I kind of vowed to myself that if I ever had another opportunity, I would try to do that. Not let all the externals, especially officials, kind of get in the way of me coaching. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, I'm not. But I think that I'm much more focused than I was when I was a young coach, coaching boys, where every little call set me off. And now I think I have a better eye on the big picture. Yeah.
You feel like this team has that ability to take, and again, you want to keep taking steps every year.
Yeah.
You feel like this squad has that ability?
Well, the last year's team went to the Final Four. We were one game away. We lost to the eventual state champion. So much of winning in the state tournament comes down to matchups. And so you need teams that you can match up with, teams that kind of fit what you do well and what you don't do well. I think they're talented enough, and I think they work really hard. So I think if we can get a break here or there and we're playing our best basketball when we're supposed to, then certainly, yes, I think it's in them.
All right, Coach, always good to catch up with you.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.